See, here's the thing. When you empower the people, you take power away from the criminals. Gun laws empower criminals. Guns empower the people. And this next video proves it.
A robbery suspect shot and wounded when an employee at a Norco market didn't hesitate to protect his business from a would-be crook.
That robbery now under investigation.
There were 4 armed robbers, and they were parked right here. By the time they went inside, they got the surprise of their lives. It's a shooting the bad guys never saw coming. An 80-year-old man defends his business after armed robbers storm into Norco Market and Liquor. The owner was standing right here watching all of the action on the security camera. As soon as he saw one of those guys pull the mask over his face, he knew trouble was headed his way.
Some people call guns evil, bad, dangerous, scary, and a bunch of other hoplophobic terms that give life to what is essentially a lifeless tool. But if I was going to call a gun anything in a world filled with criminals who try to take advantage of the weak, I'm going to call it the equalizer. Here you have 4 fighting age men with rifles, and they were stopped by an 80-year-old with a shotgun. I promise you, these guys saw this old man working at this store, and they thought, you know what? This is going to be a cakewalk. We'll storm in there with our guns, and this old man is going to fold like a piece of cardboard. And you know what? If he didn't have his gun, he just might have. An 80-year-old man is not going to be able to take on a 24-year-old with an AR, much less 4 of them. But put a gun in the hands of that 80-year-old man, and now what was a helpless victim is now a fighter. I hear people all the time say silly things like, why do you need to carry a gun? You should just learn how to fight with your hands. The problem is you can't box bullets, and not everyone is physically capable of fighting hand to hand to protect themselves. Hell, some people aren't physically capable of running away to protect themselves. So the only thing they can rely on for their protection is a gun. That said, if I'm minding my own business and not bothering anyone, I don't owe a criminal a fair fight if he decides to try to attack me. I also want you to keep in mind that this happened in California, a state with some of, if not the most strict gun control laws in the country. This same state that has an AR-15 ban and limits the number of rounds that you can carry in your gun to 10 rounds. Yet, here we have 4 mouth breathers with AR-15s trying to rob a store. I have a concealed carry permit, but if I go to California, I'm not allowed to carry my self-defense gun in California. Yet these low IQ buffoons are able to drive around in a stolen BMW X3 with a bunch of stolen firearms looking for somebody to rob. That's the real issue in this story. I would bet the reason this man had a shotgun instead of a rifle was because of California's gun laws, which limited his ability, but didn't do jack to limit these smooth-brained sophomore imbeciles from getting their hands on the very guns California restricts good citizens from owning. Here is the messed up part. The only reason the police were able to seize the stolen guns they had in the car was because this man exercised his 2A rights and shot one of them, forcing them to drive to the hospital where the cops later found him. Then Governor Hair Gel Newsom will get up in front of the camera and brag about how California's strict gun laws are what kept these guns off the street, and won't even mention how this man used his 2A rights to defend himself with no thanks to these strict gun control laws. I also want you to notice that when this happened, there were no police there to stop it. He saw them on the camera as they were getting out of the car. Do you think he had time to pick up the phone and call the police and wait for them to get there? Or did he have to become his own first responder and use a gun to protect himself in the few seconds that he had to make a decision? A gun in your hand is always going to be better than a cop on the way when you're standing face to face with a criminal. People have got to start accepting this. This idea that you can rely on the police to be there the moment you need them is a childish mentality that you as an adult cannot afford to have. The police would do their best to get there as fast as possible, but even they will tell you that 99% of the time, they can't get there fast enough. So you have to be your own first responder. Clearly, the laws didn't stop these bird-brained criminals from getting their hands on guns. So why would you continue to vote for gun laws that only stop you from owning the guns you need to protect yourself? It doesn't make any sense. So, like I always say in my videos, buy a gun, Learn gun safety, get training, and protect yourself legally with some sort of self-defense insurance like USCCA, which is a membership that provides you with a wealth of knowledge about gun safety as well as firearm training while giving you access to self-defense insurance. It sucks, but if you ever have to use your gun in self-defense, especially in a place like California where civilian firearm ownership is frowned upon by the government, you will find yourself possibly having to spend a ton of money in court just to prove that you did the right thing. So, if you want to learn more, I'm going to put a link in the description section where you can find out more about USCCA. But also remember, I also have the I'm the Militia hats and the I'm the Militia shirts on shop.mrcolionnoir.com. You are the only person responsible for your safety, and it's always going to be that way, whether you like it or not. So why not put yourself in the best position to protect the most valuable thing you have, which is your life?
You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for or hopefully even avoid a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.